Well, hey, y'all. My name is Willie Lawson. This is the Morning Report. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. We are thrilled that you are here. It's glorious, glorious morning. It's a Friday morning. It's a strange day. I'm not working at the theme park today, and I won't be there tomorrow, but I'll be there next week. For those of you who are looking for me, and there are a few who watch who are looking for me. I don't know why I'm not there, but I'm not there. I'm right here, uh, keeping an eye on you. In any case, uh, today, behind me, I mean, if you are viewing the video behind me, you see all the Republican candidates for president. Some you know, some you don't. Some you don't know, you've never heard of, and their campaign's going to be over before you hear of them, before you know anything about them. Uh, But there is some polling out before I talk about the new polling. I want to say up front that summer polling for presidential elections is the silliest, most ridiculous, useless exercise there is. There is. Um, it's the doldrums of summer. It's like the off season, and it's like kind of the off season in sports where you got to talk about something, which is why baseball, for instance, has decided that they string out their awards for the previous season like all winter, almost until it's time to go back to spring training, because people will lose interest. So you wonder why baseball doesn't just announce all their awards at the end of the World Series. They should. It's just like this blitzkrieg of awards that the week after the World Series is over. They don't. They just drag it on and drag it on. That way, it'll have people will be interested, and this is what these polls are. These polls are so people stay interested, because if not, they won't be. They won't be because now people are saying, and people say this all the time, and this is stupid. Well, who's ahead? Well, frankly, nobody's ahead. Well, why is and they go, what are you talking about, Willie? I'm like, nobody's voted. There is no Republican or Democrat nominee at this point. So technically, they're all tied. They're all either in first place or they're all in last place. Huh? Okay, I'll sit here and wait for you to tell me that I'm wrong. Write in the comments. Okay. I hope you feel better getting that out of your system, because frankly, everybody's in last place at this point. Everybody's at zero. When I used to do grades in school, I used a point system. Um, and the idea was so kids would keep working. And one bad test or one bad, quiz or assignment didn't destroy your grade, which can be awfully, awfully depressing. No, you get, two A's in a row. You could get two A's in a row, and then you have a bad day and get a D. It's going to take a long time, if ever, to get that A again. And that would discourage really, really good students. And I didn't think there was any reason for that. Uh, so everybody starts at zero, and then you attain, and then you attain, and then you attain, and then you attain. It's like, just because you have a bad day at work, you don't necessarily lose your job. You lose seniority if you have a bad day at work, right? Where else is that except in the grading system, where if you have a bad day, you just get screwed for a bad day? I figured I wouldn't do that. And these elections are very much the same for me in my brain. We're just going to start at zero. Everybody's going to start at zero. And then as I listen, and then as the votes come in, the votes are the important part. Then we can tell who has momentum. Nobody's being elected, but we can tell who has momentum. That's what we can tell. That's all. And that's all we can tell, even through most of the primaries. Who has momentum? And momentum means money, frankly. Who's raising money? Now, right now, the money is sort of people are in kind of in a first gear right now because there's been no elections. No one knows who has momentum. Uh, Vivek Ramaswamy has some momentum right now because, according to a new national poll by Kaplan Strategies, it shows that he is now tied with Governor Ron DeSantis. While DeSantis remains a top tier candidate among non Trump choices, he now shares his status with Ramaswamy, who is, frankly, right now working his tail off in places like New Hampshire. So we see him a lot in the media. The reaction of these camps in the face of this new dynamic are anticipated interests. Kaplan released, despite DeSantis' favorable rating among 59% among GOP voters, Kaplan suggests that Ramaswamy may have a potential for a higher ceiling as he is less well known amongst Republican voters, with a 27% uncertain rate. Former President Trump is still the dominant frontrunner at 48%, according to this poll. Okay, okay, fine. I'll give you the rundown. Golly, you guys. All right. According to this poll, and I told you polls are like buttholes. Everybody's got one, and they all stink. Trump's got 48%, up 36 points over Ramaswamy and DeSantis with 12. And then there's Christie with 5, Scott with 5, Pence with 4, Haley with 3, Hutchinson. You're like, who? Yeah, Hutchinson with 1. And 10% of people say I'm undecided. Now, and I don't think undecided right now is a bad place to be. I don't think undecided is a bad place to be because no one's done anything. Oh, poll strategies. This is amongst 800 before people get all crazy. This is among 800 likely voters. 800 people in a country of 330 million. 800 people. So people are going to take this and just swooshing down the street. Ramaswamy is catching Trump. What? 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 This is a poll of likely voters, 800 of them, with a margin of error of 3.5% plus or minus. So it is easy for either Ramaswamy or DeSantis, according to this poll, to be in the single digits as well, or both of them in single digits. Isn't it? So do this for me, huh? Keep your powder dry. Pray. Listen carefully. Consider carefully. And do the right thing. And don't get crazy until people start. Don't get crazy at all. But don't start getting doing anything extraordinary until people start voting. Now, according to this poll, it says things like Ramaswamy outperformed 6 other 800 people. I could get 800 people to agree that a kick in the groin is better than an ice cream cone. I could. Depends on how you ask the questions, right? We'll see. My guess, and my guess is based only on what I've always seen, is that by the time we start getting to primaries, some of the people, if you're watching the video, some of the people that you see behind me won't even be there. Some of them won't make it to the first primary. And after the first primary, after Iowa, which I believe is the first primary, this group, and for those of you who are listening on Spotify, you're listening on iHeart, if you're listening on Spreaker, the picture I have behind me has 4, 5, 8, 9, 10 candidates. My prediction after Iowa, there'll only be like 6. It's 10 candidates, but there'll be like 6 because the money will dry up. And money is the blood of campaigns. And it'll dry up after votes because people will throw their money behind who has momentum. It's hard to run against an ex-president. It just is. It's hard to run against, and it's hard to run against an ex-president like Donald Trump. So the polls beforehand, they're going to show Trump in the lead. They are. I don't think candidates can worry about that. I don't. It's going to matter what happens in the primaries, what happens in your state, what happens in your district. And I think that's going to be the key, really. Remember, Marco Rubio didn't get out until he didn't win Florida. Marco Rubio was into the bitter end. So we'll see, folks. We will see. All right. Again, my name is Willie Lawson. This is the Morning Report. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. All righty now. We'll be back right after these messages. All right, we're back. After attempts from the Biden administration to restrict the FBI generated, the report is called the FD-1023 form, which is at the center of allegations that then Vice President Joe Biden was engaged in criminal activity scheme with a foreign national. U.S. Senator Chuck Grassley, Republican from Iowa, released the full document yesterday afternoon to finally give the American people the full picture created by the unclassified document. And this document that they've been trying to not get released wasn't classified information. The document authorized for release to Grassley and the House Oversight Chairman James Comer, Republican from Kentucky, has a few redactions and provides the most information on the allegations against Biden to date. After releasing the FBI document, Grassley asked again, what did the FBI do to investigate serious claims from the FBI's own trusted source? Now, a lot of this information came from an FBI source. It didn't come from me. It didn't come from a Trump source. It didn't come from townhall.com or Heritage Foundation. It came from an FBI source. It came from one of them. What did they do? Grassley tweets this: now, American people can see what I saw for years. I've worked to expose the FBI documentation's alleged criminal bribe between then Vice President Biden and foreign national. Today, thanks to the brave whistleblowers, you can see for yourself what the FBI tried to hide. What did FBI do to investigate serious claims from the FBI's own source? Now, I've read through this. I am not going to read you all of this. What I'm going to do, my friends, I'm going to put it in a PDF and make it available on the fightbackmedia.com website so you can read it for yourself. It is eye-opening. It just is eye-opening. You're like, what? You've got to be kidding me. These guys here, President Biden, then Vice President Biden, and Hunter, they were in some stuff, folks. I will read you this. This I thought was an interesting paragraph, and I posted this. Let's see if I can find it real quick. I posted it on my Facebook page, which is really funny. It didn't get any, everyone's like, I don't know what you're talking about, because that's what most people. Because golly, if you if you think about this stuff, it's depressing. It's absolutely depressing. Um, Burisma, you've heard of Burisma. That's the company that that Hunter was on the board for. Was looking to buy a U.S. oil company for about 20 to 30 million dollars. The conversation between folks who were in the know was like, should we do this, or should they just hire a lawyer to litigate the matter in the Ukraine? You know, because Burisma was under investigation. Just pay some attorney $50,000. Um, but Burisma, the guy charged Burisma, basically said they would lose the trial because he could not show that Burisma was innocent. The other guy laughed at the number of $50,000, but not a small amount. But because the number contained a five, that's why he laughed. And he said this: it cost $5 million to pay one Biden and $5 million to the other Biden. This is what the FBI's inside person is saying, that Burisma paid $5 million to one guy, one Biden, and then $5 million to the other Biden. It wasn't clear if the payments were already made, but the fix was in. So when people say that this is just conspiracy theory, la 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 la, it really isn't. It just really isn't. It's deep and it's complicated and it's kind of boring, but it's incredibly important. I mean, we've all seen the videotape where Biden basically says that if he doesn't get the prosecutor fired or removed from the Burisma case, that they're going to withhold six or $1 billion or whatever it was in aid. Right? We all saw that, and then we heard, well, son of a bitch, he got fired. Look what kind of power I have, right? We all saw that, right? If I can find the clip, I'll put it at the end of the program today. If I can't find it today, I'll put it on the clip for Monday. Just remind me in the comments that you're looking for that clip. If you found it and you're on YouTube, or if you found it and you're on whatever source you're listening to this, put it in the comments. Put a link to it in the comments, and we'll get to it and we'll put it on. We'll put it on the page. All right, crazy talk. Justin Aldean. Do you care? Now, apparently, the controversy with you guys know I don't know anything about new singers and pop culture, and I doggone sure don't know anything about country music. I don't. But apparently, what is at the center of the controversy isn't necessarily that the song that is a deal is about the summer of love. My friend Brian calls it, with rioting and burning stuff down and the killing of police officers. That's not what it's about. That's not why they're mad. They're mad because the building behind me is a courthouse, apparently in where Justin Aldean is from, like a lot of courthouses in the South, where apparently there was a lynching at one point. My guess is that most people who live there don't even know that happened. Where my wife is from, there's a courthouse and there's a tree out there, and the story is that a black person got lynched in front of that, from that tree too. Nobody, I don't think there's anybody alive right now who can say, yes, that happened. I saw it. Or we have pictures, but the story lives on. That's the problem. They say that that's the problem. There isn't anything racist in the song. It's the chart. I mean, it's the picture. Because the left's always more concerned about what it looks like than what it is actually. And the song it goes through and shows all this, all the rioting, and the takeaway is, try that crap in a small town. We don't put up with it. Aldine tweets this: in the past 24 hours, I've been accused of releasing a pro-lynching song, a song that's been out since May. See, we're being told like, oh, this just came out 2 days ago. A song that's been out since May and was subject to that comparison that I was not too pleased with with the national BLM protests. These representatives are not only meritless, but dangerous. Exactly. I mean, this is a pretty long tweet. I'm not going to read all of it. As Benny pointed out, I was present at Route 91, where so many lost their lives, and our community recently suffered another heartbreaking tragedy. No one, including me, wants to continue to see senseless headlines or families ripped apart. He says this: try that in a small town for me refers to the feelings of a community that I had growing up, where we took care of our neighbors, regardless of the differences of backgrounds or beliefs, because they were our neighbors. And that was above any differences. My political views have never been something I've hidden from. And I know that a lot of this country doesn't agree on and how we get back to a sense of normalcy where we can go at least a day without a headline that keeps us up at night. But the desire for it to, that's what the song's about. Okay, cool. Now, I've seen content creators that I follow on TikTok say that, all this is on purpose and this is subliminal. Frankly, I'm looking at people who are saying, who all were saying that this is subliminal and this is subliminal. And then I found people who can't see stuff that's right in front of their damn face. I'm thinking, I don't think a lot of people are really, really that in tune into subliminal. They can't see what's in their face. So how are they going to look through this courthouse that nobody has ever seen? See, and that's the problem. No one's ever seen. No one knows what that courthouse is, or even if it's real. You have to do some digging. Somebody had to tell you. Somebody had to tell you about that courthouse in this picture. Somebody had to tell you because you didn't know. It could be a movie set. You don't know. It could be AI. You don't know. You don't know. You don't. And you wouldn't have known unless somebody told you. So stop with all the dog whistle. This is just an extension of the dog whistle BS. Stop it. Stop it. All right, we got to get out of here. Make room for someone else. So until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.